Hi guys, welcome back. So we're going to be discussing some things. Some of them are going to be kind of emotional for me. I have my hot tea in my little fox cup. I love this cup. This is my favorite cup right now. Today we're going to be going over a couple things because not much is going on today right now. I'm waiting on the hospital to call me with my appointment for my EKG, and that's got to be done before Tuesday, and I have not heard anything from them, and if they have called, they have not left a message on the answering machine. So today we're going to be going over how I broke the news to my family, some positivity tips of what I've been doing to stay positive, and how I discovered I had the tumor. And I'm probably going to touch on some other subjects too. I'm not quite sure where this is going to go, but I'm pretty sure it's going to lead me into an emotional... So if I start crying, I may cry today. I'm not sure, because this is my third time recording this, and the past two times, the first time I had cat and dog interference, and the second time I just started crying and I ended up cutting it off halfway through. So I'm kind of hoping I've built myself up right now. So in the beginning I posted the definition of the sarcoma I have. I come to find out there are many different types of sarcoma. I think the number was a little over 50 different types of sarcoma cancer. So I may be trying to raise awareness for mine, but I'm also trying to raise awareness for all sarcoma cancers. And I found out that the ribbon for that is yellow. So that was pretty neat to find out. That made me happy. And I was surprised it wasn't pink. So I learned from the beginning of this, not all cancer ribbons are pink. So it's a busy week next week for me with the chemo and everything coming up. And I'll touch on that probably in another video, or y'all will get to see what's happening next week, because I am allowed to film certain parts of what's going on with me. So I want to go into how I found out I had the tumor. And quite honestly, like it says in the definition, it's sometimes called a little too late, and it's very common. So, and even my Dr. Crosswell told me that you don't need to beat yourself up because you caught it so late in the game. It's never your fault. It just happens. And that made me feel so much better when he told me that. I feel a little bit better. I've kind of stopped kicking myself about that, because I've kind of always knew it was there, but I thought the pain I was feeling was from nerve damage from stepping on nails when I was a kid. And I'm surprised that this cancer starts as young as 13-year-old. I read an article about a 13-year-old who had the cancer I have. So it doesn't matter what your age is, it's going to hit you. And it's better to catch it earlier than later. And I quite honestly, when I saw my MRI pictures, my orthopedic doctor said that was the biggest tumor he's ever seen in a foot. Mine is in my foot, close to my big toe, and it kind of goes into my big toe. At the end of this video I will share my MRI pictures, and so I will give you a heads up, because it kind of made me squeamish the first time I saw it. It's just an MRI, but it still made me kind of queasy looking at it, and I can look at it now with no problem, but it's just the two photos that the doctor gave me. I did, like I mentioned in the previous videos, when I had my biopsy done, I got to see the other pictures as I was being rolled into the operating room, so that was a little overwhelming, seeing over there, over there, over there, and over there. Yeah. And ignore the truck sound. That would be my parents pulling up and coming in. Fun. like I said, it was the biggest tumor they've ever seen. It took me getting injured at a LARPing event that I went to finally take notice of the foot, and I never noticed the swelling until I actually injured myself. And I think that injury made the tumor grow a little faster. That's my theory. It's not solid. But I think I took notice after that injury, and it got to the point where it was hurting so much that it was affecting my sleep. I was missing time out of work because I wasn't getting enough sleep. And when I did drag myself to work, I was ill, I was irritable, and I was just unpleasant to deal with. And there were some days I was so bad that my managers would send me home. So, yeah, me on no sleep is not good. So after the biopsy, we waited. It took 2 weeks for me to let the foot heal up. I had to keep that foot healed up. It was like having a freaking cast on. I couldn't get the bandages wet. For the first couple of days, I wasn't allowed to get out of bed, but I made myself get out of bed sooner than I was supposed to because I am stubborn and I like doing stuff on my own. So I managed to get a wheelchair to help me get around the house, which ironically I'm going to probably need that wheelchair later down the road. So we waited 2 weeks, and the third week I got my foot unwrapped, and that's when I got my results. She said she was going to call me, and please excuse me for looking around because I'm having a dizzy spell right now. I've been very dizzy today, and I've been taking things slow. I knew in my heart, in a way, it was kind of bad news, but I was trying to stay positive about everything. And believe it or not, positivity is what is getting me through this right now. It plays a big role in this. So, she came in, and like I said, I kind of had a feeling it was bad news because she did not call me back. And when I did try to call, they said they would call me back, and they never did. So I kind of knew it was bad news from the get-go. And when she came in, she had tears in her eyes trying to explain it to me, and when she told me it was malignant, I went numb. And I'm so thankful that my mom was with me throughout that whole ordeal because she was listening to the doctor. Me, I kind of zoned out when it came back positive, and all I was thinking, I couldn't even begin to describe what I was thinking. Like I said, it was like being in a tunnel listening to the doctor. I couldn't hear her. It was kind of like really muffled. I zoned out and went numb. And I did not start crying until she brought up my foot being amputated, a possible amputation. That's when I lost it. That's when I started crying. And that's when my mom got up and hugged me and started reassuring me that we're going to get through this, we're going to beat it. Ironically, the first thought that did come to mind wasn't about my health. It wasn't about, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. The first thought I had was, how in the hell am I going to pay for all this? Yeah, me. I'm worried about bills. That goes to show that I was more focused on hurrying up and getting back to work, because by then I had been out of work since August 1st because they had to put me in a 3D boot and I wasn't allowed to work in that boot. And then I went straight into my biopsy and all this stuff. So yeah. So we're going into the subject of telling the rest of the family. Telling the rest of the family was really hard. I called my sister and my brother Rusty over the phone. They got theirs through the phone from Mom and Dad, because after I told Dad, I had to tell Dad in person, and it was hard fighting back the tears. That day I learned to fight back my tears and hold them back, because there are people who wait until they start seeing you cry and then they cry, and I know a lot of people who are like that, and I held back my tears because me seeing them cry was going to make me worse. So, and so the next people that we told was my grandma. We did my grandma over the phone, and my mom told her, and I'm starting to get emotional, so tea is wonderful. We told my grandmother on the phone. I told my brother Adam and my brother Joey face to face. Me and my brother Adam are really close, and that was like the most serious conversation we've ever had in my life. He automatically gave me a hug, and was from the get-go. Everybody in my family from the get-go is on my side. We even came up with the hashtag Team Be Strong. That's what we're calling ourselves, Team Be Strong. And I have been using that since day one, and that's what keeps me motivated. After that, we told my littlest brother Joey, and my littlest brother has autism, so he takes things entirely differently from everybody else, and his reaction actually put a smile on my face. His reaction was, I'm not using his actual words because swearing is a no-no for me right now. His exact words were, "Darn, that sucks for you." And I started laughing. And I told my Mima, and with every conversation I had, of course, I was fighting back tears and letting my family know from the get-go, I'm going to beat this, I'm going to fight it. And it's not going to bother me in the least as long as I stay positive. And staying positive is, like I said, a big part of this. I think my book is buried somewhere. I started on Facebook a couple of days ago. That, you know, that post that you see going around on Facebook, if leave a comment on this post and I'll write it on a post-it note and put it on the wall. I shared that, and then I put my own twist to it. I have no more space on my walls for the post-it notes. My mom gave me this book right here, so anytime somebody had left a positive comment on my wall, it got added to the book. I shared it on Instagram, so this is a combination of Facebook and Instagram comments. I even made a pocket out of duct tape to put the post-it notes in so people can add to it as they go on. This is coming to the hospital with me. Staying positive has been a big help. I really don't want to go much into anything else because I'm trying to make these videos stretch until the hospital. So I do want to go over how much my diet has changed, and I'm going to try to add something that I'm doing to keep my positivity up and how I keep going. I'm not going to get real personal because there are some things I don't want to discuss, and I'm not going to say this is easy because it's not. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a rough road, and I'm hoping that one day, after all is said and done, I can be looking in this camera and telling you guys, good news today, I beat it. That's what I want to do. I say the word a lot. So that is pretty much it for today's video. Tomorrow I will probably start talking about my diet and kind of how my lifestyle has changed since getting the news, because I'm learning something new almost every day since my diagnosis. I'm also going to talk about what I'm going to do when I start chemo and I start losing my hair. I am pretty cool about that right now. I'm actually kind of excited to get my head shaved, so I kind of always wanted to do something crazy, so this is kind of, I'm using this time out of work to do everything I wanted to do. I see Luna wanting in my bedroom, so that is it for today's video. And after this will come the pictures of my MRI, and it's, like I said, if you're in the least bit squeamish, y'all can go ahead and end the video right now. because after the MRI pictures, it's going to be my usual ending with the sarcoma awareness and the yellow ribbon and all that. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I'll have more to talk about than what I've talked about here today. I think my locations will probably be my bedroom and the living room, so, or if I'm not traveling. For a while it's going to be from the hospital bed. So I love you guys. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all in the next video.